And welcome back to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today, we're doing another coin review. And this is a coin I reviewed several months ago back for Altcoinopoly. It's still one that I very much like, and I just wanted to put it out there today, put the right name on it so people can find the video this time. But this coin is a coin called Digibyte. And this coin has been around for a while, and it was originally, well, I would say it's the grandson of Bitcoin. So it goes Bitcoin, then came Litecoin 2 years later. So we have Bitcoin in 2009, so it's 12 years old. Then came Litecoin, and that's 2 years later, and that's 10 years old. And then came Digibyte, and I don't know exactly what year that started, but it was about a couple of years later. But it's the grandson of Bitcoin and the son of Litecoin. It combines all the best features of both. It's a great project. Unfortunately, it just hasn't gained traction yet. And that's the concern I have for it. But let's talk about the news and let's do a review of the charts. Then we'll go to my summary at the back end of the video. Just a quick reminder that nothing in this video is considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Seek out your own advice and do your own diligence, do your own research. So let's start the conversation about Digibyte right at the beginning of CoinMarketCap. Where is Digibyte on the whole spectrum of cryptos right now? If you scroll down to almost the bottom of page 1, coin 80 is Digibyte. Now, you would think that a coin that's 11 cents would be a little higher, but Digibyte has a lot of coins. So let's take a look at, and then about 2/3 of them have been made so far. The entire circulating supply of Digibyte is 21 billion coins. That's 1,000 times larger than Bitcoin, which is 21 million. So, and it's 250 times the size of Litecoin. So Digibyte, digging into it a little bit further, it's a relatively old coin. It's been around since 2014. It's the Genesis block, or the first block, which was mined in January of 2014. So it's hit an all-time high recently in U.S. dollar terms of U.S. dollars, and that was probably about 16 or 17 cents. Let's see, it's going to show me here. All-time high of 18 cents. Okay, 18 cents on May 1st. So there's plenty of room for this coin to run. The market cap of Digibyte is 1.5 billion, whereas its parent, let's go to Litecoin. Litecoin is 19 billion. So it is more than 10 times smaller than Litecoin. So it's interesting to note that. It just gives you an idea. If all of a sudden Digibyte went to $1, it would now be in the ballpark of around coin number 15. So Digibyte's at 11 cents today. So Digibyte has a lot going for it, a lot of pluses and minuses over the years. Digibyte has a huge community, a lot of support, a lot of people love this coin. But it is a proof of work coin, so it is mined, but it has 5 different mining algorithms that are all evenly weighted. It uses the same mining algorithm as Bitcoin, which is SHA-256. It uses Script, which is the language and the method that Litecoin uses, and it uses 3 others to try and balance it all out so that none can become the dominant way. And it's also dynamically changing, which means that, you know, for Bitcoin it resets every 2 weeks, the level of difficulty. But if something happens right after it gets reset, and something happens to, like, you know, if all the miners go offline in a particular country, it takes 2 weeks for it to be reset again. So Digibyte is more advanced and has learned from that, and they've incorporated some of those things in there. The 21 billion supply is going to be all mined by 2035, so that'll be the first of all 3 of these coins to get to full capacity. But it does not have a killer app yet, and it has had some issues in its history. Now, I will go over some of the more details, but again, Coin Bureau did a great job of this video back from 2019. This is where he said some of the statistics given in here. I'm sure this is dated, that they had 280,000 nodes. I'm sure that's well over 300,000 now. But it still talks about the different layers of Digibyte. There are 3 layers of Digibyte on how it's built. First, there's the app layer where all the dApps exist, the digital apps. That's where the smart contract layer exists. Layer 2 is the digital asset layer. That's where the security exists, and that's where the public ledger exists as well. And then layer 3, that's where the five mining algorithms lives in layer 2. Layer 3 is where the nodes are assigned, and that's the protocol layer. Things about this coin that are positive. It's very fast. It makes a block every 15 seconds, and it is the first to incorporate a thing called SegWit, or segregated witness. What that means is that they use shorthand for any addresses that have ever been written into the blockchain before, so that future transactions for that address can be truncated and that you can fit more information into each block. Right now the speed is 560, well, the speed in 2019, it was 560 transactions per second. Odds are it's over 1,000 now, so it's definitely in the running for a transactional coin. The problems with the project have been the leadership and the fact that they lacked a killer app. And market penetration. Those have been the three main things. So
one of the issues for Digibyte was the leadership, and that was all signs pointed to Jared Tate. Jared Tate rubbed people the wrong way, is the nicest way to say it. And that caused a lot of people to wonder about putting it up on exchanges, and it did not get into Coinbase. It still is not on Coinbase. Binance was a struggle as well. That did not happen until after Jared left. Jared left in May of 2020. Binance listed it, let's take a look at the chart real quick, July of 2020. So that just goes to show that Binance pretty much had an axe to grind against Jared Tate and Digibyte. But now it's been added. So now we're just waiting for Coinbase to add it, which will really launch this going forward and make Digibyte much more accessible to people in the community and make the price probably go up. Not financial advice, but that's probably what's going to happen when a coin gets added to Coinbase, the Coinbase effect.
Time to revisit some charts, and we're going to do the two normal charts I normally go over when I look at a coin. I'm going to look at the coin against the US dollar and also look at it against Bitcoin, because ultimately we care mostly about against Bitcoin. So looking at Digibyte over the last year or so, we could see that it peaked in about where most things did in April, and then it came down significantly. It was about 15 cents, then came down into the 4 to 5 cent range. Now, it's been kind of languishing there for the last few months, just bouncing between, call it 3 cents and 7 cents, somewhere in that range, just bouncing around. But historically, this coin will spike out of nowhere, and then it'll just retrace. And again, it's waiting for something to shake it loose. It could be a major event. It could there's several things that could make make Digibyte go up significantly. And we'll go over those in a minute, but what we're looking to see is that there's been, historically speaking, let's see how far I can take this back. This is a weekly. This is a year. I can't go past a 5-year, but that's on a daily. So it's not going to give me much more information, but historically speaking, I'm going to get more information if I go to the Bitcoin chart. So this chart goes all the way back to 2017, and you can see it's down 95% from its all-time high in 2017. So if I clear that off a little bit, you can see that against Bitcoin in the last year, volume is really reported for Binance here only after it was listed in the middle of 2020. But you can see not a whole lot was going on there even back in. It had a nice run up in here. Let's see if I can zoom in. Let's see. That's going to be, probably have to do, let's zoom in like this. So if I zoom in the last year-ish time frame, you could see that on a weekly basis, it ran up quickly from March to April to May in 2020. Even against Bitcoin, it went from, I'll call that 51 sats to 230. So it quadrupled in a matter of about a month. So, and it had a similar run here in March through May of 2021. So Digibyte can have these runs. It can just go off and then it just retraces because it's looking for something significant to happen. See this big volume spike comes out almost out of nowhere and has a huge run on this particular week from 153 sats all the way up to 234. So an 80% boost, 50 to 80%, 50% boost, sorry, of 80 sats in a matter of a week, and a major volume spike. And I think that's when that's probably about when I first talked about this coin, or a little bit thereafter, when Bitcoin was, not Bitcoin, I keep saying that, when Digibyte against Bitcoin, Digibyte was under review for Anthem ID, I believe. So again, the marketplace is looking for one of three things for Digibyte to make it really just have a run-up event. And we could see that run-up events can be 50 to 100% returns in a matter of a week or two. But we're looking from either a listing on Coinbase or a major application, a major app demand, or just something else that gets in the news, just like a bull run where just gets Digibyte in the forefront. But you're looking for some kind of major news event, or a killer app on Digibyte, or Digibyte gets on Coinbase. One of those three things could lead to a 50 to 100% run, and it can come out of nowhere. But in the big picture of things, when you look at the all significantly and compared to where Digibyte once was back in 2017, 2018, just measuring it down from that all-time high, you're looking at about a 90% down. So, well, all I'm saying is that I can't predict what the major event for Digibyte will be, but historically speaking, Digibyte spikes out of nowhere and moves up significantly, then retraces. So, how do you play this? It's a tricky one for sure, and this is not financial advice at all. But if you were exposed to Digibyte and all of a sudden you saw this spike up and you didn't see the news, you just saw that there was potential of this just running up, maybe you would just start to take some profits when it peaked and then wait again for another downturn. That's an option. Or if there is a spike with news, then you just ride it up and see where it goes and look for it to break this 800 Satoshi all-time high and see if you can get into that 15 to 20 cent range, which it hasn't been since April of this year. So Digibyte looks strong overall as a project. It just needs some kind of push forwards, and that push could come from a number of different areas. But when that push comes, we're looking at a 50 to 100% return in a matter of a couple of weeks. It's just a matter of whether you're exposed to that coin yet or not. But long term, this project looks strong. Just the charts just need a little bit of help because it needs help from some news. So that's a look at the charts, and now we'll go back to our conclusions for Digibyte for today.
So there we go with Digibyte. I still like it, but it really needs a kickstart of some form. I love how this has 5 different algorithms for its mining. I love that people are making mining rigs based on solar cells now. It's got a huge community. It's got a lot of following. It just needs a couple of it just needs something to push it forward into the marketplace, be it a killer app, a partnership with, say, NFTs or DeFi or something, or to get onto Coinbase, or any of those three. But any one of those should get enough traction. I think getting on Coinbase would be the biggest one I would hope that would see soon. But it's a strong project. It eventually is going to come around. It's been around for a long time. It's got good market penetration. Lots of crypto people know about it, but a lot of the newer people don't know about it. So that's why it's an issue. It's an issue really with marketing and knowledge of the coin. It's not an issue with the coin whatsoever. The coin just needs something that pushes the demand for it and some good PR, good marketing. So when that happens, this coin will be discovered and the coin will go up accordingly. So right now I give it on a scale of 1 to 5, I would give it about a 3.5. It's above average. It's not, right now it's more of it's a swing trade type coin, because at some point it's going to spike, and then you probably want to sell the spike until you hear really, really positive news. And this is not financial advice, but historically speaking, it tends to pump rapidly, and then it just retraces for 3 months. And it's because it's not getting consistent coverage or traction in the space yet, but it's going to come. So I like the project. I talked about the news, talked about the charts. I think that the upside is definitely there. None of it, of course, is financial advice, but it's a coin worth considering. and it's got its own blockchain. It's a pretty solid project. So a lot said today. I hope you found this valuable and enjoyable. But for now, I'm going to close the drawer on the bureau, and I'll see you next time.